Yeah,
remember.
it's like go live, go live. Yes, I do want to go live.
Well, because I
Yeah,
guess they don't
click
want
the-
people to accidentally go live.
Yeah, so you gotta hit the button. You gotta make sure
Right.
you get that button nice and
Right.
good twice, same spot, nice rhythm. That's how it works.
That's how it works. Yes, it
That's
is.
how it works.
Right.
Oh my
But yeah,
god.
but
Oh
your
my
sound,
god.
is good. So at least
Is it?
everything's plugged in correctly.
Am I gonna do my sexy voice?
I don't know if you want to.
Mm. Good morning, everyone. It is June 8th.
Oh, you got the reverb and everything.
2026. Oh my god, what?
Uh-huh.
What?
I know you're
Something
good.
happened.
You're good.
I'm good. I'm good. You're scaring me, Daphne.
Right. No, you're fine.
Okay.
We're just trying to get technology to work for us.
Am I echoing?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, okay.
But yes.
Oh, it's too loud?
Well, because you were right on top of the microphone.
I am. Oh my god, I forgot I moved it. So let me try that again. Good morning, everyone. It's June 8th, 2026. And we're here for your listening pleasure.
There you go. It's like, what is it? So I just read a thing where Sam Altman, the asshole who's heading this whole AI bullshit, whatever, that he had said that there are only 2 people who are going to survive the AI future. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's people who can do things manually and neurodivergent. So I go, so we're good.
I'm double safe. I'm double safe. I don't need batteries, Daphne. I'm gifted. I hope your sister shows up this morning. I miss her.
I know she has a new big girl job. So
well, shit. That means I'm gonna have to start flirting with your mom because I know she's watching.
No, she doesn't.
Hey, moms.
Watch.
Yes, she does.
No, she does.
Hi, moms. And for those of you that don't know, Daphne's got a fine ass mom.
Right, okay. I'm sure mom will appreciate that. Thank you.
Good. Tell her I said she's hot. Oh my god.
Goodness.
Anyway, okay, what are we doing? You want to do this?
Absolutely not. But hit it.
Valar Morghulis. Yes, all men must die. But we are not men.
And neither are we.
Wow. A first among firsts. I think right. I think it's like you this is the first time that you're on camera now since I updated the house.
Right? Yes.
Right. So there we go. So now it feels like, even though the icon was really funny. But,
I can put it back.
No. Well, I'm sure everyone, wants to finally see your face again. Oh my goodness. So who's joining us in the chat? Did you scare everybody off by accidentally?
Oh, I might have. Oh my god, I might have.
When you thought you were in the private chat.
Oh my god, I should.
You're actually posting publicly.
Yeah, that was kind of bad. I should be careful with that. That could have been really bad.
Right. Yeah, because we don't know. But you know what? In the end, it's like it wasn't any different from most of the trolls that sometimes try us.
I'm danger posting.
Exactly. Especially in this day and age. I'm still banned from streaming from Facebook.
Oh, Daphne, you've been canceled.
Yeah, I know.
Bless your heart.
But it should be lifted by the end of the month. So, but at least we're posting to
Good morning.
Good morning, little Dixie. Good morning. And yes, we see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching from regions beyond. And if you are joining us from Facebook, please, for the love of God, come on over to YouTube. Join the sexy people in the chat. Keep them company. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so we're streaming on Nita's account because, like I said, I'm banned on my account from streaming.
That is such a reversal of positions. I never
is.
considered myself a switch before.
Well, sometimes it has to happen.
Oh no, it does not.
I still blame Steph Wilson for it, but you know.
It is Steph's
the
fault.
joke.
Everything is Steph's fault.
Yeah, exactly. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist, self-publishing fantasy comics since 1992, and I'll let you do the math. I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales.
It's coming.
There we go. I got it. There we go.
Put my new hand.
And my medieval fantasy drama, Eager Raven, Heir the First Unicorn. Both you can read online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And for those of you who are following along with Eager Raven, we are going to be launching, everybody, we are going to be
I'll be there.
All right. Eager Raven Volume 3 on Kickstarter on Monday, the 15th. The link is in the chat and in the show notes. And there, yes. So it collects issues 9 through 12 of this 16-issue series. I still can't believe we're at this part already. But like I said, the link is in the chat and in the show notes. So just sign up, hit the notify me button so you get notified exactly when the campaign goes live. Also, before I introduce
our buttons.
Right, before I introduce our hostess with our co-hostess with the mostest, I just want to apologize for any construction noise in the background. We are having our bathroom. Our bathroom redone and some rooms.
No, everybody's just quiet.
Yeah, and the kitchen, and it's going to be, hopefully it's not going to be too much in the background. So, but at least if you hear it, it's either the parrot or the construction. So either one. And to tell you more about what's going on, here's Nita.
I'm Nita. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm Nita. I do marketing and editing for different small press publishing companies, namely Lone Wolf Comics and Saltera Comics. And I'm working on starting a YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find us soon at Not All Comics.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Which also reminds me that I owe you some graphics. I forgot.
For what?
Well, you asked me to make
yes. Yeah.
So
yeah, because we will be like pushing like Daphne Lage art over there. Yeah.
So I got you. Thank you. Love you too, Nita.
Do you know? I love that you say it now. Do you know how long it took you to say it back?
Well, you know,
Daphne, you were making this relationship feel very one-sided.
I'm sorry. I'm not very good at that.
You've been such an avoidant partner.
Oh my goodness. But it is nice to have you back on the screen where everybody can see you. So it doesn't feel like I mean, like I said, I like the icon, but it's nice to feel like I'm actually, although it would be better if I
just hate that I have to put on clothes to stream now.
Well, it's like, look, at least
streaming back here naked, picking boogers, all kinds of shit. Just talking about
rolling out of bed.
Roll it out of the bed's right here, right behind me. Roll out that motherfucker, crawl into this fucking chair, and just go. But it's like I have to come out of that.
Right. Well, I mean, so what I guess what made you decide to finally be on camera again? I thought that you were kind of like more comfortable off camera.
I am, but I've got to get comfortable with it again because there's going to be a show that we'll be doing that I'm going to be on camera.
Oh, okay.
And so there's that.
Oh, okay. So you just gotta back.
I got to get back
rhythm.
into the groove, and I hate it already. I'm like,
Well,
I just ugh.
right.
Yes.
Well, you know, you gotta kind of get used to it. It's like bicycle riding, I guess.
I'm not happy with my angle. It's like I got the
Mm.
e-thought angle going on, but
Well,
it's
but it
pretty much the
works.
only place I can without the camera being right in my fucking face.
Right.
And that really bugs the shit out of me. So
You know, I
it's
mean,
this way.
right. Well, you know, hey. But the thing is, though, it's
And
a
it'd
good
be good if I
angle.
ever wear it. Oh yeah, because if I ever wear a tank top, yeah, buddy, it'd be like, what? Yeah, it'd be nice. Little,
It's a
give
good
us some
thing.
tips.
Oh my goodness.
Here's
We
my
are
PayPal link.
right. Oh my goodness. Good thing we're not monetized. We don't have to worry about it. But yes, people can give tips if they want. You don't have to. It's just a joke, but you can
It's just a joke.
if you want. Oh my goodness. So I don't know, where do we even start after this, you know?
Oh, you speechless?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It's just that, like I said, it's like there's just been a lot going on my end, only because, like I said, it's like it's a lot. It's kind of hard to have to function around actual construction, but the hey Lou, but you know, at least the bathroom, we get a new bathroom after the end of this, so I get to fill everybody in as to whether a Japanese toilet is actually worth the hype.
Yay.
You know, so you know, so yeah, but the thing is, though, it's like it's kind of like I've been finding it very difficult to like really concentrate on what I have to do, especially the type of artwork that I've had to finish up lately. So luckily I was able to figure out something, because usually I have my like drawing set up on this side, right? But the problem is that I have like the construction guys coming back and forth over here, and the last thing I want them to see is what I'm working on.
Oh, it'd be great. That's
You know?
hey, it's a conversation starter.
No, they don't need to be conversating. There is
a
no
conversation
need
starter.
to start any conversations. So I switched it out so that now it's like my drawing table is here. So I'm facing, so all they see is the back of my drawing setup. So now it's a little bit easier. So now I could actually just like do the work I'm supposed to do without people being nosy. But then again, they're all distracted by Einstein anyways. You know, but I am happy to say that I am finally on the final commission for House of Bob. I am this close to closing out that campaign. It's a little bit late, but I already contacted the person that I owe this piece to, so they know I'm working on it. I have the sketch work that I just have to light box the new sketch that I have, and then just finish it up. And then it's like, oh, because I really don't like having open campaigns while I have and then like run other campaigns as well. I don't know. I feel very uncomfortable with that, but you know. Oh, and speaking of House of Bob, so the last time we vlogged, I was talking about my little issue. No, not my little issue, but my concern with Google Drive. Yes, don't
I'm
distract
just trying
me
to
from
have
the
some
fact,
fun, Lou.
right? I was talking about my whole issue with Google Drive and how some people were having their Google accounts closed because they were uploading inappropriate material to their Google Drives, and the Google AI would say, "Oh, you're non-compliant," and they shut down their entire Google account. So I had forgotten I had a Dropbox account. So luckily, so that was my solution for my House of Bob stuff. Hey Melissa, my House of Bob stuff specifically. So I have House of Bob on Dropbox now. So at least I was able to get everyone's digital commissions out without an issue. And it's like, so at least my concerns are solved at this, as best as I can at this moment.
Right.
But just the fact that, that stuff makes me paranoid, I know that I don't know. It's you know what? They say it's rare until it happens to you.
Right.
And it's like, and I'd rather not be the one that 0.01% that shit happens to. So, so at least, I have to take my precautions. So at least that's solved. So I can continue working on House of Bob in peace, essentially. But yeah, it's like, what's funny is that there was something specific that something else specifically I had wanted to talk about before I started, but you know what? It'll come to me in the middle of the conversation, as it always does. But like I said, I'm going to be running Eager Raven Volume 3 next Monday. So in a week, exactly a week, I'm going to be running that campaign. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time and don't know what this book is, Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, is the story of a unicorn princess exiled into the mortal realm who trains to become a knight, hoping to win a king's favor and save her people. It's a sword and sorcery fantasy with a soap opera twist, featuring character relationship-centered stories with unicorns, elves, dragons, furries, cheerleaders, and exploding zambonis. No, there are no cheerleaders and exploding zambonis. Although maybe
you want to show them a video.
Do I have that up? Yeah, sure. Let me show the video so I can gather my thoughts. My thoughts, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So we'll be launching next Monday. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Yeah, it's like, and what's really funny is that there's always this thing that artists have. It's kind of like a little danger zone when doing comics, is that your first issue and your current issue are always going to look different. And like for the longest time, I always kind of oh, should I redo issue 1? Should I re-ink? That technically just needs a re-inking. It's like, should I do that? Because, it doesn't look anything like the way issue 12 or 13 that I'm working on right now. It doesn't look like the way issue 13 does. But then as I start looking at it, then I begin to notice that's like, well, if I redo issue 1, then I need to redo issue 2. And then it's like issue 3 is not going to look the same. And it's like, in the end, it's like, I just have to accept the fact that my style is going to change regardless, no matter what I do. So I might as well just stick with what I have, respect the way my art looked at the beginning of the series, that's just where I was at that time, and that, the ending of the book is going to look different, and that's just what it is. Because, I've known too many people who it's like they spend so much time. Oh, Melissa says, I'm also, what was the one before? Oh, don't fall into. Oh, I'm also paranoid that my trade collection art dramatically changes over just 4 chapters. Yeah, that's what happens. that's what happens. Don't fall into the redo trap. It's always a big temptation, but the best thing is to keep moving forward. No, it's true. It's true, because it's the same issue I had with Tall Tales. It's the same issue I have with this. And what's funny is that if you even look at that, like, there's a difference in my style between like issue 10 and issue 13, or issue, like 7 to issue 13. So it's like, at what point do I say that, okay, this is the way the artwork looks and let me just stick with it, right? So it is what it is. And you know what? And I think that, I'd like to think that there's something fun in seeing how an artist's art style like develops over time. I don't think there's something about that like as well. So it's like I don't get too much worked up over it, but it is something that keeps, that keeps kind of like in the back of my head. It's like, oh, you should redo it. But, look, if we just judged a series by its first issue, especially when something is ongoing, like, look, I have 16 issues. I don't know. I think like a lot of like comic book series wouldn't have really gotten off the ground if everyone goes, oh, that first issue, I don't know, it's kind of rough. I'm not going to bother with it, because to see how a lot of artists improve over time, it's like, and the thing is though, it's like, and I think that's where I'll use this as my lead-in ramp to the topic. There was one Sunday show that I was on where I asked the question, what is it that you like so much, that you enjoy about indie comics? And I'm going to posit that question to everybody. So Nita, what's the thing that you enjoy the most about indie comics?
The variety. For me, it's also the engagement with artists and other creators, and just having that access to be able to talk to people. And so it's because I've met some great people.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I guess because being on,
I've met some motherfucking assholes too.
Well, that's true.
But nobody pops to mind when I think of that. So like, but
that's everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's like, so it's like, so it's kind of like I guess like I don't want to say smallness. It makes it sound like
it's not the smallness so much as, yes, there is a certain here and there clique or community aspect or whatever, because it's it is niche. But I lost my train of thought, Daphne. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Today seems to be the day to do it.
Like,
right.
Motherfucker derailed somewhere.
Right. But yeah, like that's but definitely the variety is Melissa says, as someone never super into the big two superheroes, I love that indie comics lets us read and create any kind of story. There's so many really cool and fun stories in the indie sphere. Right. Yeah. It's not only is that also a wide range of art styles too. Right. Exactly. Yeah. It isn't a house style. Little Dixie says the different stories and genres and the community. Yeah. But kind of like the main thing everybody was talking about was that it's the variety. You get all sorts of stories because we're not being held to a corporate standard. Well, in terms of we can do whatever we want. We can tell whatever story we want. Lou says, I just accept the old art with kindness towards that version of me. Yeah. Just in case there's some time loop where I'm my own trigger. Then someone gets it as a tattoo. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I've had people do that. It's kind of trippy to see your
I was going to do that. You pissed me off.
Well, sorry. That's why you have to wait until the series. It's kind of like all the people who kind of
because the tattoo I want.
Well,
you ruined it for me.
Well, sorry. It's kind of like the people who kind of regret naming their daughters Khaleesi. after that
burn it
final
all
season.
down, bitch.
Yeah, after that final season. But it's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, but in the end, it's like, really, what it, it's like, I don't know.
Hey, Jody.
Oh, hey there. Yeah. So that's the thing about Khaleesi, though. It's like I don't understand why people thought like, oh my god, they changed the character so much. And I go, I don't know. I think if you follow the story, I don't think she changed that much as a character. I thought that what happened at the ending was kind of like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was sped up. That's all. But
Right.
the wheels were turning. The Targaryen crazy was about to come out.
Right. Well,
regardless.
actually, it's like, because the funny thing is that I didn't take it more as the Targaryen crazy as it's just that,
nah, that bitch went ape shit on men, women, and children, infants dying in their mother's arms, being burned alive, an entire goddamn scene. No, that's madness. Because if it's not madness, then it could excuse a lot of shit I've thought about doing before, and I haven't, because I was like, man, that'd be crazy. So you better encourage me.
I thought it had more to do with, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That it's like that even when your intentions are good, there comes a point where it's like, especially when she's going up against someone like Cersei. I mean, it's like, I mean, it was literally fight fire with fire. It was literally, so yeah, I don't know. It's like I didn't take the ending as, I mean, honestly, I think what upset me the most was, Jon Snow, just in general.
Yeah.
But
you mean that's Mary Sue?
That was somebody's Mary Sue.
That's Mary Sue.
Yeah, because oh god, I hate Jon Snow. I hate
he was some pussy eating eye candy. That was the only scene he was worth, dude. Where'd you learn to do that? I don't know. I just wanted to kiss you there. Yeah, but that's usually how it happens.
I mean, it's like, look, it's just only saving grace. I guess, but yeah, so that what was my point? Khaleesi.
People shouldn't name their kids after fantasy characters.
Or at least, just understand, the tattoos.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why you're supposed to wait till the end of a story before getting someone's character tattooed.
Oh.
Before they accidentally milkshake duck.
I'm sorry for the side quest.
Yeah. But no, that's not what that's like. No. The the story went in a direction that Nito wasn't expecting.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I'm not really.
No.
But the whole point is that where like Marvel and DC, because people forget. That's okay. I don't know much about it either.
I do.
I watched it kind of like in blips and pieces, and most of I know as much about Game of Thrones as I know about the Kardashians.
I don't know jack about the Kardashians other than they've had multiple plastic surgeries because of memes.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It.
Yeah,
that's it.
So it's like, because a lot of people tend to forget that when you're talking about like mainstream characters from Marvel or DC, that these are less characters and more corporate IPs. So, the stories are going to be very limited according to what I guess like the corporate structure demands of the characters. Like, oh well, this will be, if we do this will be profitable, or we're going to stop doing this because it's not profitable. It's like, oh, and we can't have the characters do this because they represent the company, it goes against the company, and this, it's kind of like the way Disney got Star Wars and started princessifying everybody. They started like, it's like, it's kind of like, there were no real bad guys, it's the way they kind of like soften. I mean, they even tried to soften Nazis, for Christ's sake, the space Nazis.
Yay.
So, it's kind of, like that, like with corporations, it's like you're not really going to get innovative work out of corporations because of all the restrictions that they put on the creators. So and look, it's like, and the only reason they haven't really adapted AI completely is because now they're finding out the shit's more expensive than actually hiring people.
Word.
So and then it's like whatever they do make is so bland and generic because it's like they want to make the safe middle ground slop that that'll not reflect poorly on the company, kind of forgetting that shitty product reflects poorly on a company, but hey, so
Who am I
so
to judge?
right, and it's like, oh, I'm slowly remembering my story. Hold on.
It's subjective.
Right. So so that's the thing. So that was like the main thing that everyone was talking about, that they enjoyed.
Really? Yes.
Yeah, that's what they are.
That's exactly what they are.
Yeah. So just like I learned recently that the Ewoks were supposed to be representative of Viet Cong. Yeah, so they were the Viet Cong. So because the entire Endor thing he based on the Vietnam War. So yeah, the references are there. This is what we mean about critical media. What is it, like critical media theory and all that, or like being able to actually assess the underlying pinnings of storytelling, to know the sources and understand the story better when you know what the sources are.
Right.
There is no such thing as an apolitical story, type of thing. There's always
Right.
an so so that was the one thing that like everyone on the panel was pretty much agreeing on. The one thing that they liked about indie comics was that we didn't have those constraints, that whatever we wanted to do, that's what got published.
Right.
It's like, so that's why you see all these like crazy stories. And it's like, and especially when you start getting into like really, really, like, we're micro publishers to begin with, but when we get into like really, really micro, like zines and stuff, I mean, the stories just get like completely like unhinged. And it's like, because there's nothing stopping us. Right.
Right.
There's a reason.
Except for Stripe.
Well, right, but we had that conversation on the last, But the thing is, though, like, that's the reason why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles existed, because that was never going to come out of any mainstream company, right? It took two goofballs literally just fucking around, making a parody of a Daredevil comic and just self-publishing it. And it's like, and nobody in a billion years thought that this was going to be the phenomenon that it was going to end up, right? But it was something that could have only have happened in the unconstrained environment of indie comics. So that's why I always find it a little frustrating when I see indie creators trying to imitate the mainstream model as closely as possible, because I don't understand. It's like, why are you doing that? It's kind of like it's like you kind of miss the point of indie comics. It's like, why are you trying to imitate what these corporations are doing in an environment where you can do whatever you want?
Right.
And the one thing that really had me thinking about this was, like a couple of weeks ago, I was at Monsterotica and I picked up, a good, a stack of books from there that I had pre-ordered and picked up. And I started reading them. I made it a point to really start reading them so I don't have so many books unread. Right. So there was so I read like three books so far. And one of them was exactly what I was expecting from the author. So that one was fine. The other two, they had like a really, really good start. Like probably like 2/3 of the books I was really, really enjoying. And then by the time it got to like the last third of the book, the stories kind of like started falling apart. One book started falling apart because it was very obvious that they wanted this book to be a single book of these characters, but they wanted to like still have all this stuff happen. And because of that, the book went on a lot longer than it should have. Like there was a particular part where it's like, okay, this is where the book should have ended. And then there was still like another like 200 pages. I had to, find your niche. I like that. Find your niche and feed them. Why copy something that doesn't work either? Exactly.
Batman, but different.
Yeah, exactly. Like Batman, but different. And the last, it's like there was like still 200 pages to go. And it's like the story could have ended. If the book ended right here, I would have been satisfied. Right. But instead, they wanted to like, they wanted to finish the story and add like all these epilogues and then this happened and 60 years later. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And I really felt that they ruined the momentum that I had with the book. Like I said, there was a particular part that felt like an ending, and that's where they should have ended it. And the same thing happened with this other book. Are they missing the point of storytelling too? If you're mimicking what corporate comics are doing, then you're limiting your story's voice to hope to gain a following as a one-off. That's also another thing too that I also find frustrating with the
well, if you read these corporate mentality guys books, no.
Yeah.
The answer is no. They are absolutely missing the point of storytelling.
Yes,
too.
they really are, so well, I'll get to that in a minute. So then, that's for sure. It's the whole Batman but different. Yeah. That's what we just call it: the Batman but different, the Superman but different, the Wonder Woman but different. And then this other book had the same problem. Like there came a point where it felt like an ending, but then it's like the author remembered that she was writing a fantasy story, and then like up until that point, it was just a romance, a monster romance book. And then by the time you hit what felt like an ending, then she remembered that, oh, I'm writing a fantasy story too. And then crams in all these fantasy story elements into the last third of the book. And because it's crammed in, I could feel it was rushed. I was able to predict everything. And it was just like, I actually stopped reading it because I didn't need to. I just got, okay. I go, you know what? Let me guess what's going to happen. This, and that. And then I like flipped the pages, and sure enough, just skimming, it's like, that's exactly what happens. Like, okay, I don't need to finish the book. I could just stop right here and leave it at that. And I kind of got like a little tired of, reading these types of books 3 in a row. So I decided to break it up with a horror novel, that's usually the formula that I do. It's like I read these romantasy books, these monster romance books, and then I break it up with an actual horror novel to kind of get a different flavor. And this is, I'm currently reading a book called Fantastic Land. And if you're familiar with the novel World War Z, which I thought was incredibly entertaining, I don't know about the movie, but the book itself was incredibly entertaining. This runs along those same lines, where this catastrophe happens, and then you see the catastrophe unfold via interviews after the fact. And it's really, and I find fantastic, and it's what it is like. There's this mega hurricane that hits Florida. It's a fictional hurricane that hits Florida, and it traps 300 people in a theme park, and they're trapped there for like, I think it's over a month, and then chaos ensues. And of course, the whole thing is, how you're seeing how it's kind of like Lord of the Flies, right? But like corporate Lord of the Flies. It's kind of like a little weird, where it's like, because of the literally bad management, the whole, like, what was supposed to be a safe ecosystem turns violent. So it was, so I'm pretty invested in the story. I'm really enjoying it. But there was something very different about the way this story was. I guess kind of like the vibe of how, what is it? It's like, what was the word Jose reminded me of? It's not the vibe, but it's just like, this is from an actual publisher, a mainstream publisher. It's from one of the big five. I don't remember which one. And it reads differently than the romantasy books that I was reading, which are all self-published. Like, the formatting was different. You could tell the editing was different. And there was just something more polished. That was the word that Jose used. He says there was just something more polished about this book that I didn't get from the self-published books. And it kind of made me think about this, that it's like not only did these authors self-publish because they could do whatever they want in their books, but at the same time, I was thinking, is there a reason? It's like, there must be. Actually, it's like, we're self-published for a reason. And it kind of like made me think about this whole thing about, like I said, it's like you have all these creators who are trying to mimic what mainstream publishers are doing, but there's something inherently indie about their work that, like, for some reason, it's like, even when they like hire editors, they hire professional, comic book artists, they could hire everybody professionally, but there is still a certain polish that's missing, that it's like, oh, you're self-published for a reason. Like, no one is ever, like, no one is going to confuse your work for a mainstream book, because there's something missing from that. And I really do think, and it's like, and the only thing that I could think of is what's the difference is that, even with all the complaints that being in mainstream anything, where it's like, oh, they don't promote the way they used, they still want you to do it, and this, that, and the other thing, and they don't pay, and blah, blah, blah. There's still a certain level of polish that goes into the work that these companies publish that separates them from indie. Like the book that I'm reading, I would never confuse it for an indie book, because there's something about it, that in the formatting, the way it's edited, that I have yet to see in an indie book, whether it's comics or in traditional novel publishing. And it was kind of making me wonder, like, is that necessarily a bad thing? And are we doing ourselves a disservice when we compare ourselves to mainstream? That probably mainstream is such a different animal that we should take advantage of the fact that we're not mainstream and not worry about it. And, you know, so, but at the same time, people expect indie comics to still have a level of professionalism. And I'm kind of wondering which thought is more unfair. You know, like,
Well, that's a good question because I've been on both extremes.
oh, okay.
I go back and forth.
Right. So what's kind of your thought about this? It's like, are we, you know, like, missing the point when we try to, like, imitate mainstream comics, or is that an expectation? Because even if we're indie comics, people still expect us to be
But the people
somewhat
don't expect that, or they wouldn't have found you.
right. Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
it's kind of I think it's kind of it's insulting to the indie community when you promote mainstreamly or mainstream like
Right. Yeah, that's
and repeat the same things that are out there on the shelves being put out by Marvel and DC.
right.
I think you're
Right.
doing a disservice to the community.
Right. That because this is one thing that I've always really believed. People are not that superhero comics. People are not fans of superhero comics. People are fans of Marvel and DC.
Right.
You know, like, just the other day, I saw a little quick video about a guy who has, like, the largest comic book collection in the world. But
Let's make a disclaimer real quick.
What?
Sometimes they do. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no. That, you know, but everything that they showed this guy was like that, like, he kept every comic that he read, right? But it was all Marvel and DC stuff,
Right?
pretty much, predominantly. You know, it was all mainstream books, right? But they just talked about comics, like, yeah, you are not finding an Usagi Yojimbo even in this guy's collection. Like, it was, you know, like,
Right.
even though that's Dark Horse, but you're definitely not finding one of our books in this guy's collection either. And that's kind of like, you know, and that's kind of like, oh, so when people, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's like, is that why we have to use the term indie? Because the word comics is actually everybody else but us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That when people say comics, they really mean Marvel or DC. And we have to say indie comics to say that we're not. That pretty much what the word indie comics is actually saying what we're not, as opposed to what we are.
Wow.
You know, like, we're
going deep
because we're not mainstream comics. And as long as you're indie comics, you're not being confused for mainstream comics. And I think that people who kind of, like, try to chase that mainstream model as indie comics are really missing the point. Because it's like, because in the end, what makes a mainstream comic? Corporate backing. Because in the end, to become mainstream, you have to be making, you have to be making that, guten Tag. You have to be, you know, in order to be mainstream, you have to be making your books under a corporate under that corporate umbrella.
Right.
You know, so it's like, so even if you're Dark Horse, IDW, it's like they all have a corporate infrastructure, an actual corporate infrastructure. It's like they're either owned by private equity, or they're owned by like Marvel is owned by Disney. DC is owned by whoever the fuck just bought it. I don't even know who owns them anymore. You know, I mean, it's like they're owned by a corporate entity that allows them to work under that. Let's see. We hold indie comics to a standard we don't have with any other art forms. The Ramones didn't sound like the Beatles. Pollock didn't look like Rembrandt, but that was the point. Right, exactly. It was the fact that they were, and, you know, it's funny that you mentioned the Ramones, because just a couple of weeks ago, we were at a convention that was at Forest Hills High School, where the Ramones, they're actually were formed. I think there's even a street nearby that's like Ramones Way or something. But yeah, it's like the whole point of being indie or punk, or, you know, is the fact that you weren't corporate. You weren't supported by a corporate entity in the background, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what makes you mainstream. The fact that you have that structure. Because even if, you know, you go to Image, and there's plenty of people who went to Image and failed at being at Image, but they still had that advantage of being at a corporate entity, which allowed them to go to be in the mainstream, to be in comic book stores at a volume that they would have never been able to have done as an indie comic. And, you know, and it is, you know, and I was just having like kind of like these weird thoughts, especially after reading these novels and kind of like sensing the difference between these books. Leaving its definition alone, you shouldn't compare your unknown IP to an established IP. It has nothing to do with the use of the word comic. Well, that's true. I mean, no creator should want 4 layers of corporate management ruining your cool indie idea. Right, exactly. Because, you know, where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started off as an outlier, and here's the thing: the most ridiculous thing that I've heard people repeat is that they can manufacture that success. That, it's like, I want to be like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can't.
Nope.
You can't manufacture that.
They tried.
That was
and they weren't as cool.
Yeah, that was pure luck. And you know, yeah, and you know how we know? Because of all the copycats that came out afterwards, right?
Street Sharks.
Right, you know? It's like everybody wanted to manufacture Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but nobody has been able to do that. But according to, you know, just like that comment, you look at what the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles looked like compared to what it looks like now, which they have like 70 layers of corporate interests now, you know, in between, like what the comic started off as and the global phenomenon. They're like 2 different things. They are not. That's why I find it ridiculous when people say, "Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not now. Oh, that's not my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." It's like, no, it's not supposed to. That's a different corporate. That's a different corporate.
Them was Hasbro's Turtles.
Yeah, it's like that's like a generational answer.
That's how that goes.
You know, done by a corporation. It has nothing to do with you, and it has nothing to do with the original Ninja Turtles. You know, and and this is like another thing that kind of made me think about this too. There's this woman, not an artist alley girly, but a stationary girly that I watch on YouTube, and she creates her own stationery. She's created her own brand where she makes 6 figures a year just selling plushies and stationery, like her own thing, right?
She Lisa Frank in it.
Yeah, she's trying to Lisa Frank in it, right?
Nice.
And so, so she's like this independent artist, it's her and her husband. They're the only people who work, sometimes she gets some family members, but, she does her own thing. She does, she does the pre-sales and whatnot. And you would think that she was like really, really successful at what she does. I mean, it's apparent, although,
Right.
it is the internet, but, but the thing is, there's no reason for me to not take this at face value. So I just take it at face
Well, if
value.
it's on the internet, it's absolutely true.
Right. So so she's made six figures. She's been making six figures on her creations. So she decided to go to a licensing expo because she wanted, like, her goal is to make her characters a worldwide brand like Hello Kitty.
Wow.
Right. So she goes to a licensing expo and she's like, oh, I gotta get to, find out what's going on and this, that, and the other thing. Right. Nita, the funniest thing about that video is that she comes out looking shell-shocked.
She got ripped a new one, huh?
I mean, I don't know if she like had meetings or anything. Like, I don't know. I don't remember the extent of her going to licensing expo.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Yes. And and it was just really, really funny to kind of like, when she was like kind of like gathering her thoughts at the end, to kind of see her reflect as to how, the big leagues are the big leagues. And she is nowhere near that. And like I said, she's making six figures by herself, and she's walking around. And then it's like, when you compare and you're seeing all these companies, worldwide companies, and we're talking about characters that sell in that these are $1 billion franchises. These are $1 billion IPs, right? And pretty much the gist of what she was trying to explain of her experience is that she is nowhere near ready to run with those big dogs. Like those big, like she thought she was successful, but then to actually see how it actually works, it's like, like there is a difference. Like when I see her characters and I was seeing those booths for Hello Kitty and Miffy and all these other, like the Peanuts, Garfield, they're all there,
Are the Labubus still there?
Right. I mean, I don't know if they're the Pop Mart, like, I don't remember, but there's something different. It's like, oh, honey, you and your six figures. Oh, that's cute. Oh, how cute. It's very, very quaint of you. Go back to selling six figures worth of your, IP. Like that was kind of like the feeling that it's like, oh, you're indie for a reason. And I can, and it's like, and it's the same thing with us where it's like, you're indie for a reason. And you can read it as either a good thing or a bad thing, so it kind of goes both ways. Like, oh, you're indie for a reason, right? And it's like, so when I see people, like indie people doing their Batman but different, right? Batman but indie, Wonder Woman but indie, and it's like, you're indie for a reason. You're not mainstream for a reason. And it's not for what you think. You can hire all professional, you can hire all your professional, like, your artist, your letterer, your everything, your colors. You can hire all professional, right? But you're not going to make that jump to mainstream for a reason. I mean, even, some of the people who they're making, like they have their books and they're making 60 grand or 30 grand on Kickstarter. They're not mainstream for a reason. and it's like, and now it's just like trying to like come to terms with what that might mean, because it's like, like in my case, like I've had people, one particular guy, like in an interview, like he actually got mad when I when I, like, he was asking that, oh, if someone offered $10 million for your comic, and I go, I don't think about that. I really don't. It's like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like asking, oh, what would you do if you won $10 million in the lottery? And it's like, and I find those exercises rather meaningless because it's a stupid question. It's like, who cares? I don't have the money. The money's not real. The question's not real. And I don't consider it a very challenging thought exercise. It's not an exercise at all. It's just a stupid question. People just, they just want to play around with the answer. So I kind of like refuse to answer the question. It's like, oh, I don't think about that. It's like, oh, what if some studio wanted, Eagle Raven and it's like, I don't think about it. Right. It's like, that's the type of thing that when it happens, I'll worry about it, but I don't hypothesize about this. And he got mad. And it's like, oh, but don't you want to sell your thing? And it's like, I don't think about it. I literally don't think about it. Because it's not something I think. It's like it's not real, so I put no importance. Right, that's why corporations have no problem with AI. It produces the final product that they would anyway, without without having to worry. Right, except now they can't. Now they're realizing, like I said before, that they're finding out it's more expensive than actually hiring people to do it. Now that the token prices have gone up, So, oh, it's almost like you guys got scammed, but okay.
Help me, I'm in danger.
Yeah. And he got really like mad at that. And it's like, but there are people who actually create their projects on that fantasy. That it's like, oh,
wow.
Well, yeah, it's like, well, don't forget, it's like you can barely put out a comic a year, but you're worried about having a Netflix clause in a non-existent contract. And it's like, and I'm kind of, and it kind of makes me think about like how much is that getting in the way of the books you actually want to do? You're indie for a reason. Right, and knowing that you have to change, right? And it's like, but like I said, it's like, you know what? If that ends up something I have to deal with, I'll deal with it. But I'm not going to spend
it's beautiful.
It's like I don't want to spend mental gymnastics on something that's imaginary. So, but like I said, that there are people who base their entire creative foundation on that. Oh, but it's like, but why would you? It's like, look, I understand why you want to be mainstream, but the way you're doing it is never going to get you there. Because in order for your book to go mainstream, you have to have direct access to that corporate money.
Word.
You have to have access to that. That's what you need access for. Yep. That you need access to. Not making Batman but different and then like, waiting for who? For DC to be interested in your Batman. They have Batman already. They don't need your Batman but different.
Unless it's a mouse.
But even then, I think that they're still they're self-published. I don't think that they're with a major company. They're not with a mainstream company either.
Just saying, it was good.
Right? Yeah, I think that's the only time I saw Batman but different. Actually,
it had an appreciation.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they really did do Batman. It literally is Batman but different. And so it's like, so it kind of makes me wonder, like, how much that's getting in the way. The whole, like, well, if I'm, I'm not indie, I'm mainstream light. And it's like, there's no such thing. You're not mainstream because you don't have that corporate backing on any level. If you're still paying out of pocket, you're not mainstream. Now, let's clarify this. When people say they want to be mainstream, what they're really saying is that I want to be wealthy off of this. I want this.
I want to be famous.
Right. I want to be Todd McFarlane. I want to be Eastman and Laird. I want to be, I don't know, the guy who made, what's his name? Kirkman, the guy who did Walking Dead and
Walking Dead. Yeah.
Right. Kirkman, whatever the fuck his name is. It's like, oh, I want to be that guy. It's like, yeah, but you're not that guy. And you're not doing what that guy, you're not doing what that guy had to do to end up in the position that he's in. Look, people think that they can speed run, like, even on the lowest level, that they can speed run what Brian Pulido did. It took Brian Pulido 25 years, right?
Tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, 25 years, to accomplish what he did. But there are people who literally think they could speed run it in 6 months. That they could speed run it in a year and a half. And like I said, they can barely put out a comic in 6 months. They could barely put out a comic in a year and a half. But I'll be just like Pulido any day now, even on that level. And I hate to break it to you, Pulido's not mainstream either. Pulido's not mainstream,
and he ain't worried about it. He's
right, and he's
Pulidoing, doing what Pulidos do.
Right, exactly. And so there was like another thing. I forgot who had said it. I think it was one of the ancients, that they had said something to the effect of, like, if you are unwilling, if you have a goal and you are unwilling to do what that goal requires, you should let go of that goal. Like, you making a Batman but different book is not going to get you into DC. You have to be chasing jobs at DC to get into DC.
Right.
And then and then establishing yourself at DC or Marvel. And then
chances are, if they come for you, they're just going to put you on someone else's story anyway.
Well, so. Right. But the thing is, though, that's how that works.
Right.
That's how they don't, it's like, that's how that works. Like, if you wanted to go publish at Image, then what is it that for you to get that foothold? Then what do you do, and why aren't you doing it? Like, it's the one quote that I did say, it's like, everybody wants a magical solution to their problems, but no one believes in magic. Right. And it's like, you're indie for a reason. And it's the same thing. And in the end, that's what I got out of these novels that I was reading, right? These books I picked up at Monsterotica and then compared with Fantasticland. You're indie for a reason, and sometimes you're indie for a reason. The reason why you're indie is because a company feels they have a corporate entity feels they have to go a little too far to get you where they need you to be. There's a reason why, it's like, they picked up Ice Planet Barbarians, but they didn't pick up this other author that I picked up at Monsterotica. Because I guess Ice Planet Barbarians met the publisher, I think they're at Berkeley, which is Penguin Random House, met the publisher, the corporate structure where they needed it to be for them to take it to the next level. Right? So they took an indie book, they came to this author who was doing an indie book, and they said, okay, we know what to do with this. We want this. We want a piece of this. Right? These other books,
give me that drumstick off that baby.
Right, exactly. That it's like, and and it's the same thing with this other woman that went to the licensing expo, where it's like she thought she had something, and she came out of licensing expo going, she still had, it's like, oh, I still have a long way to go. Yes, you do. And that's the thing. Companies now, they're not here to nurture you. They're here to take you to the next level, but they're not going to nurture you, which means that your book,
they need to feed off of you.
Yeah, exactly. So you making your Batman but different is not going to put you in the mainstream. If they're not coming to you already, you're not ending up there. Like
Killer of dreams.
I mean, you see, that's the funny thing, because Jose,
fuck your dreams.
Jose like when I try to have these conversations with Jose, depending on his mood, that's what he says. That it's like, oh, you're saying that people should just give up. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And it's like, and but like I said, it depends on his mood. If he's in a mood, he'll say that, oh, it's like you're just telling people to give up on their dreams. Like, I know what I'm saying is that they're making their dreams more difficult by not being realistic about them. I mean, I literally have no fantasy about the work that I do. It's like, look, I'm coming. It's like, because it's like, look, I'm coming up on issue. I'm coming up on issue 13. The series ends at 16. It's like, look, if it hasn't happened by now, it's not going to. It's like, this is where I'm at. So it's like, why am I going to like try to push for something that's not going to happen? I'm just wasting my time. It's kind of like the reason why in the end I didn't feel too bad. I ended up not feeling bad at all, like really backing off from like marketing on social media, because it's like, well, if I'm marketing and nothing's changing, then I don't need to market. Then why waste my time doing that? If I'm just in the same spot that I'm in, let me put that effort into something that actually matters, like finishing the work, So, I mean, so it's like, I don't think I'm real. I mean, I'm not saying this to be a killer of dreams as much as, well, what's your dream? What's your goal? And what do you actually have to do to get to that point? But if you're just running on the fantasy that I want to be the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then it's like, good luck, babe. You do understand that's not going to happen, right? I mean, that was literally pure luck. That was pure luck that'll never happen again, because the environment that allowed that luck to happen will never happen again. So, so it's like you're only frustrating yourself, because these are the same people who bang their heads against will go, oh, I don't understand. I'm doing everything right. Are you? When they say it's like, oh, I want to be like Stan Lee. And it's like, why do you think being like Stan Lee is like the last 5 years of his life and not the entire, the fact that he started working at his father's comic book company when he was 13? Again, it's like, why do you think you can speed run what the people you're basing your shit on took an entire lifetime to build? You're only frustrating yourself. And I'm just saying that it's like you're indie for a reason. And it's like, either you actually go out and do what you need to do to end up where you want to be. Either you do that, or you adjust what you're doing to where you are. You know, if you're in indie comics, you're not mainstream for a reason. You're indie comics for a reason. You have to adjust what you're doing, you know. And it's like every one of these authors that I bought books from, I don't think very few of them figured that they were going to make a living. I don't think there's any according to the survey of like 40, I forgot how many authors. I think it was like 70 something authors. And they all said the same thing. We're indie for a reason. It's like we have no, it'd be nice, but we have no fantasy that our self-publishing books is going to sustain us in a way where we can support our families on this. You know, they have husbands who support them. They have the regular job, you know, and they do all this writing. They produce indie published novels on the side. You know, and it's like, and it's very few of them that are able to turn it into a full-time profession that actually supports their family. They don't have illusions to that. But it's like, but the more it's like I see like there's something different about mainstream, right? The more I don't understand why indie people want to be that. It's like, really? Do you want to be under the thumb of a corporate structure that limits what you can do with a character? Oh, you can't do that. That's not profitable. You can't show that to kids. What if, you know, this, that, and the other thing, you know? You really want to be. But then again, they always imagine themselves to be the corporate structure, right? But you're not. You're not the corporate structure. You know? You know, you're just an LLC working out of a spare bedroom. I mean,
Get that.
You're not Disney, you know? You know? So yeah, it's like so like I said, it's like it can go both ways. You're indie for a reason. But like I said, I don't think it has to be a bad thing. You're indie for a reason. You have this tremendous freedom to do whatever you want in this space, to tell the story that you want to tell, to draw it however you want, to hire whoever you want to draw it, you know? And you know, and it's like it's like not everybody's going to end up on Netflix, you know? And even well, you know, that's a given. You know, but like I said, it's like I think that a lot of these people are just setting themselves up for burnout, especially. Which is exactly what I keep seeing, really. That it's like you have these guys who think they're going to be the next Image, but they only imitate what they saw superficially, not the underlying structure that had to happen for Image to happen. Right? And then it's like they don't understand why they're treading water. Oh, but I hired this guy. I got this guy, and I got this guy, and I spent $1,200 or $2,100 on an advertising budget, and it's like, oh, I only sold X amount on Kickstarter, which doesn't even cover my expenses. You know, and it's like, and then what happens? It's like they get frustrated because, oh, I don't understand it. Yeah, I know. Can't we just keep comics as comics? Why does everything need to be a show? And
look at this.
Oh, that requires work. Hello, sir. Good morning. I don't care who wins in a fight. Well, right. Yeah, that's you know, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, it's like you have to have like 2 fights in a comic book or something, like two fight scenes in a superhero comic or something like that. And it's like, what does that have to do with you? You're not Marvel, you're not DC. Why are you doing your books following rules that a corporation instilled on them? And you know, and expecting the same result. You know, you're not going to. Um, but yeah, I just think right. But that's the thing, though. Why can't we just let comics be comics, right? Everybody has to have. Yes, that exactly. You know, like everything is like this. Like too many people are like doing this performance, you know, of like, oh, I'm, you know, it's like, oh, you know, like the one phrase that drives me crazy. It's like you got to keep the lights on. It's like you're an you're a micro publisher. What lights are you reporting to keep on?
My favorite's food on the table. Bitches, you're gonna be starving.
You know, yeah, that the whole thing about so we got to put food on the table. Like that's why you have your real job.
What on earth is that?
Right, you know, and it's like right. So it's like why are you looking over there? You're not doing the things that I yeah, so I think that that's where people burn themselves out. Yeah, if I wanted to make TV shows, I'd gone into making TV shows, right?
There we go.
If you want to do mainstream comics, you had to. It's like you have to go work at mainstream companies. Nobody is going to buy your micro publisher. A TV show makes you. I am not punching down. I can't punch any lower.
The bar is in hell.
Right. It's like it's like, look, I just have this thing where it really, I don't want to see people suffer. I really don't. It's like, why are you making this difficult for yourself?
Some of us enjoy it.
You know, I mean, really, it's like, you know, it's like so many publishers are doing this, you know, it's like, you know, you don't need to do that. You know, I would have studied animation in college instead of comic creation, right? And then you too would have been out of work still. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so you know what, in the end, I don't know what my point is. It's like I just want people to be I don't know. It's like
Original.
Not original, but it's like
liberated because they're independent.
Liberated. Yes,
right.
I want you to liberate yourselves from this idea of
what's up, guys?
Oh, hey there. Oh my god. Yeah, no.
You want to show the cover?
Oh, it's like, well, just because the Zhang brothers are there.
Look at that sexy unicorn ass.
Oh my god. It's like it's like, look, I got this cover because I wanted this cover. I so like that was like getting a Zhang brothers cover was like a bucket list thing for
Daphne.
Me
it looks like the fucking movie poster, dude.
You know, I mean, I
swear I get goosebumps.
I mean, it's so like and that's I think that's part of what I'm talking about, right? Where it's like I got this variant cover because I really, really wanted this variant cover.
Yes, my precious.
I really wanted a Zhang Brothers variant cover, and now I'm on my third one. It's kind of like, you know how it's like kind of like getting a tattoo, where it's like people spend like 20, 30 years thinking about the design, and then once they get the tattoo, now it's like they'll get it. It's like, okay, just now it's like one after the other. It's the same thing with the Zhang Brothers, and it's like so yeah. So I already have like a third one. Oh no! Don't do slice of life and autobiographical comics. Don't do that.
It was there.
Don't do that. Oh my god. You know, but that's why I enjoy doing comics, because I actually enjoy doing my comics. I enjoy doing my comics, and I enjoy sharing it with people.
Smack it. Yep.
Well, that's why she has the annoyed look on her face. And it's like, and it kind of like, I don't quite understand it when I see people like it's almost like a chore. Doing indie comics is like a chore for them. And it's like, why are you making this difficult? I want to see you enjoy this. Let's all share.
Because the movie deal.
Right.
The movie deal.
Right.
Yes. The Adult Swim cartoon, the action figure, the trading cards, the everything, the explosive, the celebritydom.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to see anybody burn out. It's like, I want everybody in indie comics to do the stories that they enjoy to the end without this expectation, without this like, oh, well, it has to, but the hassle. But the hassle.
Yes.
The hassle.
But how many people, seriously, how many people have we seen just running full sprint dead into walls?
Right.
Just
I swear to God, it's like, honestly, it's like they look more like
death ones are the worst. Like those.
Sometimes I think it looks more like that scene in Blair Witch when you come down the stairs and you see that guy in the corner. He's just standing there in the corner, like literally, literally. Oh my God, it's like that's the kind of like why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. You could just enjoy this. And then what happens, but you can just enjoy this.
It doesn't have to hurt. It can be fun.
But I really do love that Zhang Brothers covers. Oh my God. And the next one is just as good. And the next one to go with the hustle. You mean the struggle, because it's not a hustle. If it doesn't go anywhere, it's not a hustle.
It is a hamster wheel.
Yes, it's more of a hamster wheel than a hustle.
Or I like the termite and the yo-yo analogy.
The termite and the yo-yo?
Yeah. Yep, he's eating around and still just going up and down, up and down.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't really work when y'all just see his plastic yo-yos anymore.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why I'm kind of like, wait, how does that work?
Oh my God. I have to explain myself.
Right. I don't know. That's so I don't know. So yeah, so you're indie for a reason. I guess in the end, take it however you want. Like I said, it could go either way. I don't know. So I don't know. You have any final thoughts, Nita?
No. Me brain is mush.
Yeah, mine too. It's too hot in here.
It's too cold in here.
Really?
Yes, they're freezing me out. I have to go turn up the thermostat because I could just feel the $500 electric bill.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. Okay. So, oh my goodness. So I want to thank everybody for keeping us company in the chat. Thank you so much. I want to thank also Take Over the World. Thank you. I also want to thank the Zhang Brothers for peeking, taking a little peek. And I just want you guys to know, worth every penny. I swear to God, I love it. Oh, but also I have Jaden too. Between Jaden and the Zhang Brothers, that's where all my money is going right now. And yes, I want to thank also my beautiful eyeball people for watching us from regions beyond and keeping us in the background where we belong. You don't want us. We don't want us.
Nobody puts baby in a corner
on a 4K television. Please don't be watching us. Okay. Oh my God. But I hope you guys. Right. I hope you guys got a lot of work done. While we were babbling in the background, but we appreciate the fact that you had us babbling in the background. Don't say that they're going to raise their rates. Oh my goodness. Don't raise my rates. Oh my goodness. So yes, I hope you guys got a lot of work done, and hopefully
It's the
that's it.
bird.
Oh, it's a bird. It's a bird in the background.
It's Mr. Einstein.
Yeah, we have
He's a
we have
dick,
a
but he's
parrot
cool
right
little
here.
cat.
So yeah, um so yeah, so oh my god, my brain. It took me a while to start up, and now it's like I'm trying to wind it down. It's like, no, keep going. It's like, no, I can't. Ah,
You need to relax.
oh, no. I need to go.
Serious.
I need to go work out. That's what I need to do. You know what I discovered recently, Nita?
What,
That-
sir?
That exercising really does make you feel better, and the
Right.
audacity. The audacity.
With Daphne, we realize this like once a year, right?
Yeah, I know. Because
Like
it's
we have this realization, oh, movement is better.
yes,
And we're back to the lymphatic drainage. and
Yeah,
fucking,
no,
all right,
yeah.
self-care again.
Yeah, no, because I ended up joining a gym, and all the pain that I have been like pretty much putting up with for the past several months, after 3 days is all gone. Like, oh, I
yes,
just had to
ma'am.
move.
You ever just locked up?
It's like I just had to like lift some weights or something, and then all of a sudden nothing
that's the-
hurts.
Get some good hip exercises. Flex them out. Gotta stretch them.
Yeah.
No, like this. This. Or like this.
Right.
Or there's always the
Right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, so again, thank you everybody for joining us. If you want to learn about more about me and my artwork and my Kickstarters and my Zhang Brothers covers, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can read Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn for free. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can read the archive of over 1,000 pages there. And yes, there is a difference between that first page and that 1,000th page. That's for sure. But you'll enjoy it just the same. Thank you so much. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, where you can keep up to date with all of my new arcs, sketchbooks, comics, Kickstarters, all that fun stuff, and get a free PDF comics bundle just for joining. You can also scan the QR code right here as well, and don't miss a thing. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this sultry Monday, or at least in the office. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time. Toodaloo.
I told him I can be